Welcome everyone to the 2019 Memorial Championships presented by Discraft. We are here on the back nine with the lead card of the FPO division. On this card is Eveliina Salonen, Paige Pierce, who's also here in the studio with me, and Jessica Weese and Rebecca Cox. The front nine brought us a lot of birdies and a lot of action, leaving Eveliina with a one-stroke lead over Paige. We're going to get to watch this final nine play out and see who gets to be crowned the 2019 Memorial Champion. I'm Sarah Hokom, and Paige Pierce is here with me. How are you feeling about now?
You know, I feel good. I just came off of a couple birdies, and I closed the gap to one, so, there's 9 holes left, and there's some moves to be made for sure, so I just got to see if I can execute and stay calm under the pressure.
Hole 10, par 4, 651 feet. It's a pretty long hole with OB all over the left side and a line of pine trees on the right side as a natural blocker. Got a slight slope right to left through the entire fairway, and scattered trees through the middle. A lot of players are going to throw a low power shot up the right side, trying to get out into the open to give themselves a look at a long second shot for birdie.
Absolutely. This is a hard hole to get, so you absolutely have to set yourself up well with this tee shot. I'm throwing my Lucid Convict, just trying to get as far down as I can and in the center without going OB. And I did that. But I'll still have a tough shot to try to execute. Jess goes with her Vulcan here and doesn't turn it quite enough. She's kind of left up in those trees that Sarah was talking about.
Eveliina looks like a destroyer. Maybe a fairway, actually. Maybe her Thunderbird.
Yeah, she got up there a pretty good way. She's going to leave herself in a good position to get up and down. Rebecca, though, throws it a tiny bit too high. It still penetrates, but those branches took quite a bit of speed off it, so it hyzered out.
This will be close to 400 feet to get to the pin from here.
She's going to come up short, but she should have a pretty easy par. Par, I don't think, is losing you many strokes, at least not to a lot of people. You know the stats on that?
Yeah, we've got not too many birdies on this hole. So if you get it, it's going to be definitely getting a stroke on the field or more.
Eveliina is setting herself up for that with her FD. She puts a nice turn on it and should be inside the circle. I'm throwing my Lucid X Convict on a push hyzer at the right side.
Yes.
And I loved it, but it got a few skips, and I'm left with
Nice shot, Paige.
Slight slope on that green makes that fade a little more than normal.
Jess with a good approach.
Yeah.
And this was a miss that I will be thinking about for a little bit.
There's always those strokes out there you wish you could get back.
Yeah, definitely. And this is one of them. Coming down the stretch, I can't be missing inside the circle, especially against a solid competitor like Eveliina. She gets the birdie and on to hole 11, 2-stroke lead.
Keeping things interesting.
So now that intimidation factor we're talking about, she has the box now. This is quite a tough hole, hole 11. So, you just kind of want to keep it in the fairway.
So 2 strokes to separate the 2 top ladies. Is this like Finland against the U.S. here? Is this kind of what's going on here?
Seems like it, right? I actually had a 5-way playoff with Eveliina in Europe last year. It was really crazy.
That was amazing. I watched that online.
It was really crazy.
Wow. Maybe a first.
Yeah. So we're here on hole 11.
543 feet, par 4. Going to throw a controlled power drive up the center, OB on the left and OB on the right. You don't have to chop off a ton of this distance to still get the birdie. So players are going to play a little conservative off the tee, leave them a couple hundred feet as an approach to get that 3.
Absolutely. Eveliina is up first with that birdie, and she's just going to put it down in the center of the fairway as the rest of us are trying to do as well.
Oh, baby poo. Coming in.
So now we're throwing all of our approaches. We all get up there for a putt. It's a pretty tricky upcut. I think the green gets skinnier as you get up by the basket. So we're all fortunate enough to be safe. Now we just got to see who's going to hit the putt and who's not.
And you got to kind of play it to the high side of that hill, and you kind of push the OB there. It kind of sneaks up on you and can easily, as you're trying to play the high side so you don't fade too far below the basket, it's easy to kind of throw it just a little too straight and end up OB on the right side.
Absolutely. It's a tough green, and it's sloping as well down to the left, so you don't want something with too much speed that's going to stall out and find that sidewalk.
Maybe they should elevate this basket too.
Maybe. Why not? Eveliina was joking with me on this tee pad because I'm the only one that threw a mid-range. And she, we were all landing about the same spot on our drive as you saw. But she called herself a noodle arm because she had to throw her strike as far as I threw my mid-range.
I think that applies to most of us in the field.
Yeah. So as you saw there, Eveliina missed her putt. She left herself a little bit too long in the approach and missed the putt. So I got a stroke back there and brought it back to only one stroke behind her. So we will see what's going on hole 12.
The drama continues.
Yeah,
this is so exciting.
It's a battle. It's a battle.
Hole 12, 282 feet, par 3, over water and uphill the entire way. This one can certainly be a score swinger.
Absolutely. It's easy to lose 2 strokes on this hole, and the tee shot is pretty intimidating. I'm throwing my Lucid X Verdict here, and I was so happy that I did not have to putt on this one.
Another elevated basket.
Yeah. Rebecca, she's throwing a nice flat line and just letting the disc do the work. It's just hyzering out perfectly. I believe that was her defender.
Looks like Eveliina with a destroyer, throwing the hyzer, getting a little skip, but stays in bounds.
Yeah, from the tee, it looked like it was going to roll a little bit. She was, praying for it to sit.
Jess with the Faro. I'm kind of surprised she throws the Faro here instead of a backhand. I feel like the sidearm line is a little bit sketchier. You're playing over OB more than you're playing with the backhand line.
And I think that's why she left herself that tester, because she didn't want to push the side, that other side too much. So it hyzered out at the basket, which left her that putt.
But she canned it.
Yeah, she did, and Eveliina followed suit. And now Rebecca and I both have tap-ins, and we will be walking on to hole 13 with our second star frame. And this is a long walk.
It
to
is.
Hole 13.
So when you don't get this birdie, you have the entire time to think about it.
Yeah, so we were stoked. We, again, shared a high five and, walked over there pretty happy.
Still 1 stroke separating the 2 at the top. Hole 13, 405 feet. Starts out over water. We've got a Mando on the left with, you have to go right of the pine tree, but that left side pine tree. You've also got the sidewalk on the left that you can actually get to OB before you get to the Mando. You've got water behind the basket and another elevated basket, making it real interesting once you get on that green.
Absolutely. So this one's pretty tricky. I mean, with the OB all on the right and deep, you kind of want to push the middle of the fairway, but also have something that doesn't hyzer out too much because of that Mando you talked about. So we're all throwing our straight disc. That was my Convict, and this is Rebecca's Explorer. It's a good shot here right in the middle of the fairway and makes the par pretty attainable.
So how come you guys don't throw the hyzer here?
That tree is super overgrown. I used to, but the branches are getting bigger and bigger, and they're hanging above the water. So if you hit the branches, it's probably going to drop in, and that's something I didn't want to risk at this moment.
The sidearm certainly plays the fairway pretty well here. It gives you the easy shot for your up and down.
Absolutely. You just got to make sure to hyzer in before that Mando. For me, this is my danger range. As you can see, it was not a great shot. I sailed it a little bit. When it's a little outside jump putt range for me and I have those like shorter approaches, I tend to sail them like that, and this is not a good moment to do so.
You have to get some more overstable in your bag.
Yeah, I have them, but I felt good with that disc choice. I think I just threw it bad personally, but
that happens down the stretch.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes I know that my muscles get a little bit, or just in general, I just don't have a good feel for my body once the nerves set in.
Eveliina, right there.
Nice recovery putt.
Thank you.
It's shaking your head a little bit there.
I saved a bogey. It was minimal damage, but every stroke is so important, and I just gave her another one. I actually gave it to her. It wasn't like she played for the birdie and got it. I just messed up, and when your competition isn't messing up, it's hard to get those back. Eveliina is on pace to shoot a super hot round right now, and so those mistakes are very costly.
And on this hole, 57% of the field got the par, and there were no birdies in the entire weekend. So par is good, and par is getting you strokes on the field.
Yeah.
And Eveliina pulls away and is now up by 2.
Hole 14 here. This one has a Mando quite a ways down on the right. Most people are throwing the hyzer towards the Mando tree and letting it fade because the OB on the left definitely comes into play. Other than that, down by the basket, you have the Keen wall that serves as the out of bounds line, and it's connected to the sidewalk on the right.
Also have the low sidearm line up the left side off the tee.
Is that what you take?
I do. Yeah. I wonder if Jess will take that line.
She actually goes back. I was surprised with how many backhands she threw. Like you were just saying, she chose the sidearm on that one hole, but then not on the next.
Ready? Go.
Always like watching her play to see the choices she makes as such a balanced player.
Yeah, she definitely is. Eveliina with a great shot right in the middle of the fairway.
You were right, Jess with the backhand. Vulcan, it looks like.
Yeah, this is her Super Domi champion.
You guys are just playing all the same spots.
Yeah, we kind of did. Here, early release and hit the tree. So I'm right near the short pad. At least I have a good marker. That tee sign told me I was 400 feet away, so I knew what I was getting into. I grabbed my Lucid Convict.
Nice shot, Paige.
And I was super excited with this shot. I just wanted to get it far down there and not be OB and just give myself a chance at the putt.
A little too much turn. Ends up behind those trees. A little tricky approach. You should be able to get up and down.
Just in a great spot to get the 3, but an errant release there, and an errant release, and it was with the Roadrunner. So there's not a chance of it hydrating back and caressing it. Eveliina with that SP, she is loving. Great shot again. I don't know what else to say. She just throws that thing well.
She's dissecting this course.
Rebecca was hindered there and made a great shot. She's in the bullseye.
Ooh, off the top.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah, it was close. But still lost the stroke,
Oh, man.
Coming down the stretch, every stroke.
Ooh, that's a confident stroke.
Yeah. She's feeling good. She's feeling really good right now. She's up 3 now. Only a few holes to go. There's still a lot of danger, though, so, you've gotta keep that momentum that she's feeling, that confident stroke into the basket, and see if she can close it out for her first pro tour
I assume
win,
you still, at this point, you're like, I think I still got a chance. There's only 3 strokes.
Yes.
There's 4 holes left.
Definitely. I definitely still felt like I had a chance, but like I said, she wasn't making mistakes, so I knew it was on me. And I think in my mind right now, I'm thinking, okay, hole 15, best I can do is 3. Hole 16, I can 2. Hole 17, I can 2. And 18, I can 2. So that's my mindset. I have to go 3, 2, 2, 2, and just see what happens.
Hole 15, 450 feet, par 4, hyzer off the tee, then a couple hundred feet to approach the pin. Very, very birdieable hole for the entire field.
Absolutely. If you don't birdie this hole, you're kind of losing strokes. Like Sarah said, it's just a hyzer off the tee. There's not really any other thing to do. You just got to make sure you go around that rando.
Yesterday, this was the easiest hole on the course.
Not surprised with that, actually. There's not much danger to get into.
Unless you're sidearm dominant and you have to throw a backhand.
Yeah. True. Your backhand's looking good though. So I throw my defender really hard and fast, hoping for like a triple skip, just to try to get as close to the basket as possible. Instead of that, it just kind of gets a really skip.
Just looks like the gator approach, looking for a little left to right to finish.
I believe so. Rebecca with her deputy, I believe.
Eveliina looking confident.
AVR 3. She floated it a little, but it found the ground, and she's well in makeable range.
And with her putt being so confident at the moment, you know, it makes that approach even less of a nail biter.
Absolutely.
You know that even if you put it 15 feet away.
Yeah, I honestly knew that was coming after I tried to run that basket because I saw that she was going to three it. So I kind of tried to float one in and floated it a little too much. Left myself with a tester, and, you know, with all the nerves on the line coming down the stretch, it just didn't fall.
And you had a huge gallery as well.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, how many people do you think were there?
At this point in the round, there was probably 60, give or take. So it was more than we had.
Looked like a huge mob coming up the fairway from the chase card.
Yeah.
So Paige misses that one, unfortunately, and is now down by 4. Everyone else gets the birdie.
Yeah, so in my mind, I have to birdie out, and even then, it's maybe not doable.
Yeah, and Eveliina has to make
a lot of trouble.
Yes. And Eveliina has to make mistakes here in order for this to go in your favor.
Honestly, on this hole too, hole 16, 390 feet, you can definitely hyzer out left where those people are walking, with the slope down that way. If you give your disc too much height, it is going to go OB on the left side.
And with the raised basket and the extreme rollaway potential on the green, this can be a troublesome hole.
But she kind of takes that out of play with the sidearm. It's a very smart choice, and she's a strong sidearm player. So she's just going to be in the middle of the fairway, not birdieable from there, but, you know, safe 3, and that's all you really need at this point. Rebecca with her defender there. Just puts it right in the middle.
Just Farrow getting up there for a putt.
Yeah, I was surprised at how close she got. She has a really powerful sidearm. I tried too hard on this one. I was just trying to get as close as possible, and I overturned it and hit the side hill. Didn't give it enough time in the air to kind of press that. Rebecca, just a jump putt up there so she can tap in. Same there. I couldn't really make it, so I was trying to put it under and hope for the best.
Even from circle's edge, this putt is daunting.
Yeah, that's right about where Jess is. And gives it a really good bid, just a tiny bit left. She was lucky it didn't roll.
Very lucky.
How many rolls have you seen on that basket?
Oh my God, too many to count.
Countless.
And the OB is right at the bottom, so if you actually get a roll, you're likely losing more than just the one stroke.
More than a stroke, for sure. So that was very, very nice basket right there for Jess. And at this point, actually, I'm starting to worry about Jess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's playing great. And that hole, not a lot of score separation, as actually 100% of the field parred this today.
That is crazy. That's a crazy stat.
So, going into the last 2 holes, Eveliina in the lead by 4, and Jessica, like you said, is coming up on your tail, and you have her by 4. That's a lot of strokes for 2 holes, but
it is, but when I'm going for the win. So I'm trying to be aggressive here on this hole 17 and get the 2. And, you know, if I sail by it, there's that OB right behind the basket, so it could be a 2-stroke swing.
Absolutely. 300 or 243 feet, par 3. A lot of players are going to throw just directly at the basket with a putter or mid. Eveliina taking my favorite route, the sidearm. And the sidearm has a little bit of ground play that can actually roll you away or put you deep into those rocks. But the hole is short enough that's very, very birdieable for the entire field.
Absolutely.
Looks like Rebecca overcooked that a little bit.
Evelina's line and threw an incredible shot. She doesn't even have to putt.
Gets good ground play. And here you are, making a
This
run.
birdie. That's my thought on the tee. You have to birdie this.
Oh.
And I choked. It's still makeable for sure, but that's a putt you don't want to have at that basket with the behind. I decided I had to run it though.
Ooh.
And I was happy
That
with
was a
that
pretty
bid.
good run
I
from
was
that
happy
distance.
with it.
Eveliina, solid.
Another stroke, 5 strokes ahead.
Going into the
On
final
last
hole.
hole.
Whew. It's been a battle.
Yes, it has. It's a couple minor mistakes towards the end that made her pull ahead, but you know, in my mind, I'm thinking she didn't make any mistakes. So even if I wouldn't have made those 4 right then, she still would have had me by 2 like she did going into the back 9, and you know, that's something I just try to you know, find peace in. She played incredible
great golfer.
golf. Yeah.
Great golfer. You know, it's one thing to like lose, like you say, but it's another thing to play well and not win.
Yes, absolutely. And we have 1 hole left here. Could see some shaking up. It's a new hole, and I think it's the most difficult one on the course, in my opinion.
I would agree. Yeah, hole 18, 401 feet. If you're throwing the righty hyzer, you're going over the water for most of the flight. If you're trying to get a 2 on this, you're going over water for the entire flight, risking a re-tee if you don't actually come over in bounds. Also to a raised basket, and it's such a skinny fairway. You only have a little space to land, and there's OB all up the left side. Eveliina throwing the hyzer.
She doesn't go for the full distance. She's throwing a powerful hyzer, but she's not trying to risk the green there. So it's a good safe play by her.
Just with the sidearm flip up. I like that play. I'm not sure how she even gets it to go so far with the sidearm on this through this line. I have to throw
It's a really
fairway.
flippy disc. That's her Vulcan again. So it flips up forward and rides flat for a while. So it chances that it'll be on the left. But,
Yes.
I mean, risk reward. She just got way up there and it never had to cross out of bounds. I'm throwing my Bio Defender. If you saw round 3 coverage, I pulled it a little too flat and didn't come back in bounds. So today it's a little bit more hyzer.
Wow, hits the pyramid.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
exactly
man.
where I wanted it, but
That's an amazing shot. Little sidearm approach for Eveliina. Pretty stress-free looking.
yeah, she's happy. She is happy walking up to this. She knows she did it. And all we can do now is just watch the final putts fall in and watch your new champion be crowned. Just verbally said, Jessica, last hole nerves.
Yeah, with all the crowd just right there in your face.
Yeah,
It's
it didn't
definitely-
really mean it.
True. And Eveliina tap in as the champion. The Finnish superstar comes to the U.S. for the first time in 2 years and takes the Memorial Championships. Congratulations, Eveliina.
Such a great player. She's very positive as well. It's just really fun to play with her.
Score is written down here.
Always smiling. Actually, sometimes for no reason. You don't even know why she's
2019
smiling.
Memorial Women's
Just enjoying
Champion,
this golf.
Eveliina
I
Salonen.
think that's, part of her success. I think she just enjoys the game.
Big crowd giving her a huge round of applause that she deserves.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Always catching the ladies' coverage on the Pro Tour. We'd like to thank the PDGA, the Pro Tour, and Discraft for sponsoring the Memorial Championships.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. for this headphone.
Yeah, I
well.
realized that, but we kind of cut it off.
Yeah, we
and
did.
I'll just ask him to add some music at the end.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I hope we can do more of these.
Thanks for